you'll understand the concept of polity better, right? So historical background plays a very important role. I'll explain you everything step by step. Can I tell you a small story before starting all these things? I'll start with a small story. See, this is our Indian Constitution book. It looks like this exactly. It will have this golden leaf on the top, and it will have a preamble engraved like this. So, before entering the historical background, can you see this picture? Can you see this picture? So, how things start. So, this picture is visible for you people. So, how things start and how things change, how these things, whichever has started, will end up in a formation of polity and the present government for us. This complete process, I'll be explaining it to you because this plays a very important thing because your Lok Sabha, how your Lok Sabha came, how your president came, how your Rajya Sabha came, what is bicameralism, when did it come, what made it come. All these things are part of your thing. Okay, so let's start step by step. First, let me give you a small story. So, what is East India Company? First, we will understand what is East India Company. East India Company. So let me put this resolution more. East India Company. So it is so basic thing, what happens is we won't even know what is East India Company and we'll start studying history, we'll start studying polity. So we'll understand what is this East India Company. It is a commercial company like any other company, commercial company like any other company, like Reliance Reliance, we have Tata, like that. East India Company is also one of the simple company commercial activities it will be taking care. So what does this company do is they will start, first thing is they will start trade. So I'll ask you simple thing. Now if we need to start a trade, okay, let's take Reliance need to start a trade in, let's take some random company, Iran. Can it directly go start it? No, right? So it should take permission from the government, permission from central government. Same way, East India Company can't start trading directly. Can't start trading directly. Why? Because it needs to take permission from British government. British government. It'll take permission from British government. Now I'll ask you something. What is difference between trading and manufacturing? Why they're coming for trading, not for manufacturing? Because first step for them was trading. They need to trade first, then they will go for manufacturing, right? They will trade first, then they'll go for manufacturing. So trading will be very important thing. So they come to India. They wanted what they wanted. What they wanted, spices. Spices is the major thing. After that, cotton. Cotton. Such things only they wanted. Spices, cotton, right? So one is this, they wanted these things. And second thing is this East India Company again wanted one more thing. They wanted market. So they wanted market so that they can keep the market, they can have Indian market and sell their finished goods. So I will tell you simple concept. Look at this concept, you'll understand it better. So let's start this concept. British is there. British takes our raw materials and gives us finished goods. See, takes raw materials, gives finished goods. That means what is happening for them, their manufacturing sector, their assembly line, that is improving because this is the what is very important for economic growth. This is what is very important for economic growth. So they're taking away our raw material. So raw material is a natural resource which is very important for us. So Britishers, instead of depleting their raw materials, they're taking our raw materials, right? Instead of depleting their raw materials, they're taking our raw material. But what they're doing, they are manufacturing our stuff. By manufacturing our stuff, they're getting employment, they're getting economic growth, and finally what they're doing is they're getting back finished goods. So they're getting money also. Our raw material, our goods, someone else is manufacturing. This is a wonderful economic concept, right? This is a wonderful economic concept. So that's what Britishers were doing. So East India Company was doing exactly this. And I'll tell you one more concept. You know, how was Mughals? You know Mughals, right? They were the richest people in the world. Richest people in the world. All the Mughal leaders, they had the richest wealth, richest people in the world. Top 10 richest, top 1 actually. So Aurangzeb, for me, till now, who is the richest person in the world till now in the history and present, everything is Aurangzeb. So he's the richest person forever. So that is the essence of Mughals. So Mughals were there. So exactly when Mughals were there, later Mughals were there, these Britishers were come. They take permission for trade. Permission for trade. This permission will be happening. They give the permission, trade will be happening. So deal done. Now slowly, that trade will grow. Trade will grow. Let it be in items also and in area also. They will cover vast variety of, items and vast area of India. So they'll cover items also, they'll cover area also. After this is the next important thing is, now there will be decisive things like Battle of Buxar, Battle of Plassey, all these things will happen. So Britishers start taking control over India. Britishers, is it Britishers? No, it is part of Britishers. That is, East India Company starts taking control over this. East India Company will start taking control over this. So East India Company under control. So this is the farman given by Mughals to the, so you can see this farman given by the Mughals to Britishers in this picture. So they get rights to trade. Farman is something like rights to trade. These traders, by 1773, they become part of rulers. They start administrating. The traders who were there, they start administrating by 1776. So this is the major 1773. Now, before entering this, we know we have studied much of history, leave that, but I want to start make you understand few things. So I'll divide this historical background into parts. First part, I will call it 1773 as a regulating act. Regulating. So because why we call this regulating? Because British is regulating East India Company. So I call it regulating act. Next, amendment for this, I'll call it as Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act. So this is called stage 1. These two are called stage 1. These two are called stage 1. Now next thing will come 1813, 1833, 1853. These three acts, what happens is, by 1813, East India Company will lose its trade monopoly. So monopoly, trade monopoly will be taken away. So from now on, the India will be under the direct control of British. So I will call this as Charter Acts. Charter Acts. Because chartering will happen. Charter Acts. I'll call this as Charter Acts. After this, whatever I get, after this, whatever I get, two acts will be there. 1858 Act, I will call it Government of India Act. After that, what happens is 1861 to 1892, 1909, we can call it Indian Council Acts. After that, we will call rest 1909, actually also 1919, 1935, 1947. We call them as Government of India Acts. Okay. Why did I give you this division? Because you'll understand today why we call the names. I will even explain why we have these names also. Importance of every name, importance of every act, what is this contribution of this act to the polity. We will even see contribution of this act to the polity. Everything will observe properly. Clear? We'll see contribution of this to the polity also. So like that complete thing, I will start. So let me start with 1773 Act. Go to 1773 Act. Before coming out with the 1773 Act, 1773 Act, I will give you an explanation. What explanation? Background for the 1773 Act. What is the background? Look at this. This is the background. Trade will be happening. Do you think when trade is happening, will people be corrupt free, or they'll be corrupt? They will be corrupt. So same goes with Britishers. They were corrupt here. Britishers were corrupt. So corruption was happening. Corruption was happening. Because of corruption, East India Company was in loss. Can you imagine East India Company being in loss? See, East India Company was in loss because of corruption. So when this happened, they wanted money for trade in India. Alva, they wanted money for trade in India. When they took the money for trade in India, where could they take it? They will take it from central bank. Central bank with British. They took this. Will British give the money like that without regulating? British says, look, I will give you the money, but from now on, you'll be under my regulation. From now on, you'll be under my regulation. That's where your regulating act starts, right? That's why we call it regulating act, because it is under regulation of Britishers. Who is under the regulation of Britishers? East India Company is under the regulation of Britishers. That's why I call it regulating act. Clear till here? Now, another background I'll give you. You'll understand this in a better way if I tell you this. What is this background? Simple content. Okay. East India Company will have shareholders, workers, plus traders. Okay. Shareholders, workers, and traders. In this shareholders, there will be members who will have more number of shares. Isn't this shareholders go for elections and they elect their directors? They elect their directors. Yes. So now this East India Company will have shareholders, many shareholders. In that election process will happen. After election process will happen, there will be directors. We call them court of directors. Court of directors. What they will be doing? Controlling company's affairs. So it happens in now also. Even now, if you want to see any of these things, it will be exactly like this. Shareholders will be there. Then there'll be election process. After this election process, there'll be a court of directors who will be controlling the company affairs. So this is the thing, court of. So we understood under East India Company, we'll have court of directors who are elected, 24 members who are elected. This is the existing figure of East India Company. Okay. Now on this, these people will go for loan. So British government will tell, because you have come for loan, you need to take few regulations from me. You need to take few regulations from me. What are those regulations? I will tell you in the Regulating Act. That's what British East India Company says. In the Regulating Act, so what does it say? It was the first step was taken by British Parliament to control and regulate affairs of East India Company. Yes. It designated Governor General. It changed Governor of Bengal into Governor General of Bengal. Warren Hastings becomes the first government. This is not important thing. Important things more than this, I will explain. This is for your just your reference. I'll give you the logic. You'll understand the logic. Now let's try this concept. Let's try this concept. There will be Governor General who will say, British will say, there will be Governor General from now on. This Governor General, we will call him as Governor General of Bengal. This Governor General of Bengal will have four members assisting him. So we call this 4-member assisting him as Executive Council. Executive Council. Why am I stressing on this? Because this is the Executive Council which becomes your executives tomorrow. So I'll give you understanding now. That Executive Council, which started in 1773, that will become your Lok Sabha with Council of Ministers. You know that? The Executive Council, which started there, will end up to become Lok Sabha, which is a Council of Members now. So let's get back. Executive Council will be there, 4 members will be there, and the 5th one will be Governor General. This is in India. This is the scenario in India. So Indian scenario we have understood. So I'll make you understand the scenario in British. Scenario in British. In British, see, Executive Council of the Governor General was established. There will be no separate legislative council. It is subordinate. I'll explain these things also. In British, how it will be, East India Company will be there and 24 court of directors will be there. So this will be running like this. In India, Governor General will be there. 4 members will be there. And we call it as Executive Council. In British, East India Company, 24 court of directors. So this is the scenario in 1773. Now, what is the regulation they have put? Regulation is having Governor General in India. So what happens having Governor General India? So what would happen? East India Company is that their shareholders are in British, but workers are in India. Workers are in India. These workers are controlled by Governor General. Understood? Workers are there in India, and these workers are controlled by Governor General. Clear? So when it is like this, isn't it a regulation? Isn't it a regulation? But who is controlling East India Company? Now the same East India Company, British is controlling East India Company in British. In India, Governor General is controlling the workers of East India Company. Clear? With this, how would they control? How would they control? They control with other factors. So they start controlling first. They keep Supreme Court. They open Supreme Court at Calcutta in 1774. So why do I need Supreme Court in India? Because this Supreme Court which came up in Calcutta, it deals only with East India Company matters. The trade matter, corruption matters, punishment matters. That's why. So now Governor General is there, the Supreme Court is there. Won't it control East India Company's workers? So that's why we set up Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will have one Supreme Court CGI, one Chief Justice, and three judges. First control is over. Second control, the governors of Madras and Mumbai, who were part of East India Company. The governors who were here, they're part of East India Company. These people are under the control of governor. These people are under the control of Governor General. So can I sum it up now? Sum it up. I'll tell why did we want 1773 regulation? Because they took money from loan from British. So British needs to control East India Company. So in England, East India Company is controlled by British government directly. How it is controlling? Controlling the court of directors. In India, what they set up, there were bureaucrats, there was trade happening, there was dealers who are doing traders. All these people need to be controlled. For that, they set up post called Governor General. To support this Governor General, there was an executive council. This executive council had 4 members. So these people will support governor in taking care of East India Company, which is in India. So not only that, to support governor, they gave Supreme Court so that all the matters of East India Company's corruption, problems, punishment, everything will be dealt. That Supreme Court had one Chief Justice of India and 3 judges. Clear? Now, other than that, already governors were there, were in Bombay and Chennai, Madras. So these people were made subordinate to Governor General. Clear till here? So this will be your first act, that is Regulation Act. Why we need to say about Regulation Act? Because it is gives Supreme Court to India, which is a part of Constitution, Executive Council, which will become your Lok Sabha, or that will turn out to be your Council of Ministers tomorrow. Okay, here everything is clear. Next step is, after Regulating Act, I'll be entering PITS India Act. I'll be entering Pitt's India Act. What happens in Pitt's India Act? Very, very important. Pitt's India Act, I skipped over. Very, very important act, because here I changed the control of British in a different way. Now I amend my 1773 Act. I amend my 1773 Act. What do I amend it as? So now I'll change dual government. I will start. What is this dual government? What is this dual government? So sometimes amendment for this is also called Settlement Act. Pitt's India Act is also called Settlement Act. So I call it dual government. Why do I call this dual government? Things start here. Now I'll introduce new body called Board of Control. Board of Control. BOC. I'll start a body called BOC. This BOC will be having 6 members. Okay. Now, other than that, there will be a chancellor of the exchequers. I'll explain everything. Exchequers. Third thing will be president. Then fourth thing will be 4 privy council members. Okay. So they will start a body called Board of Control. What is this body? I'll explain now. This body is a simple body, Board of Control. It goes like this. Board of Control. So British government is there. In that British government, Queen will be there. Queen will be there. Under Queen, what will happen is we'll have Council of Ministers and parliamentarians. Right? Council of Ministers and parliamentarians. Other than that, there will be under Council of Ministers, there will be chancellors. And there will be these chancellors will be of many number. Yeah, this is the setup of British government. So what is this Board of Control now is? From these chancellors, they will create a post called Secretary of State. Secretary of State. They'll create this post. Okay, he will be head of a board called Board of Control. So it will have chancellor and other 4 members. So totally 5 members. Who will be there? One is Secretary of State, 1 chancellor, and other 4 members, 6 members will be there. What would they do? These people, you know what they do? They control East India Company in British. They control East India Company in British. How would they control East India Company in British? When I have East India Company already existing there, yes, that's what they do. They separate East India Company works. So Board of Control, which is of British government, and Court of Director, which is of East India Company, these 2 people will be working in British. Both of them will have different works. Political affairs will be taken care by Board of Control, which is under the British, and Court of Directors will take care of commercial activity. Okay. Political affairs I meant here is military and civil, these two, right? Now, how is my complete structure? I can write the complete structure in a different way now. My complete structure will be like this: British, okay, British will be there, India will be there. In British, there will be East India Company and Court of Directors, and under British, there will be Board of Control. Board of Control. These two people will be taking care of British. Under this Board of Control, there will be Secretary of State. Secretary of State. Now, this Board of Control will directly control Indian affairs. From East India Company, we'll have workers, traders in India, and from British side, we'll have Governor General and his Executive Council and Supreme Court. Right? Clear till here? So, how is the scenario now? In British, there will be East India Company's Court of Directors, Board of Control, Secretary of State. In India, East India Company people will be workers, traders, and Britishers will be Governor General and Executive Council. Clear? So this is the structure right now. This structure will be during Pitt's India Act. Under Pitt's India Act, they create a structure like this. Distinguish between commercial and political functions of the company. Court of Directors for commercial function, Board of Directors for political functions. Reduce the strength of Governor General Council from to 3. So Governor General, Executive Council of Governor General had 4 members. Now it will become 3 members. Place the Indian affairs under the direct control of British government. How? Because we have Secretary of the State. When Secretary of the State is there, isn't he directly controlling the British government? Right? So now we understood what is the scenario right now. Scenario is like this. In British, East India Company and British government are taking care. East India Company has Court of Directors and British has Board of Control. In India, Governor General and East India Company will have their workers and traders. Everything is clear. Next step will start. Next step will start. Next step is Charter Act. Before entering Charter Act, I need to give you simple understanding of directly it's here, right? So before entering Charter Act, I need to give you explanation what happens in Charter Act of 1830. What happens in Charter Act of 1830 is, first thing, British East India Company will have monopoly of trade. Monopoly of trade. So British will tell, why should I give monopoly of trade to them? So I can increase competition. I'll take away their monopoly of trade. They will take away the monopoly of trade. But this monopoly of trade will continue in tea plus in China. But over India, their monopoly will go away. So whatever I'm doing, I'm giving a charter. So that means from today, East India Company doesn't have all the rights on India. All the rights on India is resting with British only, not East India Company. That's why we call any act, these 3 acts, we call it as Charter Act, because they're giving, who is giving charter? British government is giving charter. Because British government is giving charter, we call it as Charter Act. Why we call it regulation? British government gave money That's why we call it regulation. Why we call charter? Because British government from there is giving charters how the Governor General should run. How the Governor General should run. Clear? So let's start. Charter Act, very important Charter Act, that is Charter Act of 1833. So Governor General of Bengal will become Governor General of India here. Governor General of Bengal will become Governor General of India. So what is the very important thing here? I will start a new window where you can understand many things. Now we have Governor General of India, and we'll have Governor General or just governors of Bombay and Madras, governors of Bombay, Madras, and Bengal. 3 people will be there. Okay. So this Governor General of India will have Executive Council. For this Executive Council will have first concept, that is called fourth member. That fourth member is your law member. Law member will be there. So law member will be there. Here. Now, what does this mean? All these days we had governors and governor generals, but here Governor General of India, as soon as Governor General of India comes, Executive Council, first member who has become the law member, fourth member, it shows centralization, right? Centralization. A system of centralization. From now on, very important thing happened. What is that important thing from now on which happens? Is all these days we were calling regulations for all the works of British as a regulations. From now on, we'll call them as acts. So all these days we were calling it as regulations. We call now as an acts. Clear? That's why we call them as charter acts. East India companies, all commercial activities were stopped. No more commercial activities of East India Company. All these commercial activities directly go under the British company. Here, now East India Company commercial activities are gone. I'll ask you a simple question. Who were the representatives of East India Company? They're workers and traders in India. So we used to call these workers and traders as civil servants. These workers as civil servants. These civil servants only are we IAS officers tomorrow. Under East India Company, we used to call them as civil servants. They were working for East India Company and British. So what was happening is, as soon as I took away commercial activities of these things, East India Company, now why should I continue the workers of East India Company? No, right? So I decided I will have my own workers who take care of the trade, who take care of the administration. That's what British believed. So when British was believing this, they had another belief. Can we have local Indians as my workers? Can I have local Indians as my workers? So Britishers realized, okay, let me have Indians as my workers. So they wanted to start include Indians in civil services. But East India Company says no. Why? Because how would these workers who are Britishers will be ruled by Indian workers if they clear and come off? So East India Company will never let British government to start civil services in India. Clear? Clear? They will never start. They will never let this happen. Clear till here? Next, what happens? This is about 1833 Act. So what is the end of 1833 Act? How is the administrative setup of 1833 Act? It's same. There is in British, we have Court of Directors, Board of Control. These are 24 people. These are 6 people. In India, we have Governor General and Executive Council. So in this Executive Council, how many people are there? 4 people. New person, 1 member is law member is added. So this is the administrative setup of British and in India after 1833 Act. So let's go for next administrative setup. How things change here. Very important act for us. We should consider this a very, very important act. It is called Charter Act 1853. Charter Act 1853. Why it is important? Because Legislative Council, the legislative and executive functions of Governor Council will be separated. What is this? What is this concept? So 1853, Governor General will have both law-making powers and executing powers. So what they decided is, we will start one more council called Legislative Council. They will take care of lawmaking. But what I'll do, I'll keep a veto in the hands of Governor General. I'll keep a veto in the hands of Governor General. Decide what I'll do. I will continue my Executive Council. Where now I divide my Executive Council on the basis of portfolios. I'll have a law member. Next, I'll have Defense Secretary. Like that. I will have Governor General. Understanding? So now I'm dividing after 1853. I have this scenario. Remember this scenario. I will start one more concept. President, Parliament, and Council of Ministers. Isn't this President, Parliament, Council of Ministers, isn't this same as this Governor General, Legislative Council, Executive Council? How many of you feel same? Yes, that's why 1853 gives you this. So what is our parliament? The exact phase of our parliament starts in 1853. So Governor General become president, your Legislative Council will become parliament, your Executive Council will become Council of Ministers. Right? Understood? Clear? So let's get back. So Legislative Council is set up. This is the scenario, exact scenario now. So that's why I call this as Mini Parliament Act. Mini Parliament. Because we get our parliament system from here. Mini Parliament Act. Mini Parliament Act. Another thing is, this is the very important place where we start Macaulay's Minute. Under this, in 1954, Macaulay's Minute will start. What is Macaulay's Minute? It's a law commission. Law commission. What does this law commission do? What does this law commission do? It comes out with CRPC, IPC of us, Criminal Procedure Code. Audio is not coming. Audio is not audible. How many of you feel audio is not it's not audible? So now everything will be clear. I hope every. Okay. So how was this CRPC IPC? The law before CRPC IPC was simple. It has a completely different concept. Law was called in a different way. So law was, for Brahmins, it's a different law. For Kshatriyas, it was a different law. For Shudras, it was a different law. For Dalits, it was a different law. But the moment CRPC, IPC comes, law concept will change, right? The law concept will completely change. Because from now on, all the citizens will have same law, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion. Isn't that an amazing concept? Irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion. That's why 1853 Act is very important, because it gives you Macaulay's Minute, which comes out with CRPC and IPC further. Clear? Clear? And system of competitive exams will start. So they will not listen to East India Company anymore. They will continue with competitive exam systems to recruit civil services. Everything is fine till here. Everything is fine till here. But problem doesn't change. Things will start becoming complicated now. Britishers, did I say something before? See, this is very important picture which I'm be sharing. Government of India Act is a very important act. because I'll be telling you one simple concept. Didn't I tell 1833 Britishers wanted Indians to be part of their administration, but East India Company didn't leave them. So did the British stop it here? No. British continued this. What did they do is point number one. Britishers involved in Indian affairs like property, and they involved in culture, religion. So when they started involving in Indian affairs to understand Indians and give better administration, things didn't work out for them. There was a war against Britishers because Britishers touched their property, culture, and religion. So that war gave rise to a complete complete change in the administrative setup. Complete change in the administrative setup. We call it 1857 war. So this gave a complete change up in the administrative setup. That complete administrative setup will be changed in 1858. This thing. From now on, there is no more East India Company. From now on, there is no more East India Company. Full East India Company will be controlled by Britishers. Full East India Company will be controlled by Britishers. British will control full East India Company. So, what is this concept? British controlling full India. Things change. What are the things change? Very important. If you want to note it down, note down. Point number one. East India Company was there. Under East India Company, we have Court of Directors. British was there. Under British, we had Board of Control. And for that, we had Secretary of State and a counselor. So what they do is they change this complete setup. They change this complete setup. How would they change that complete setup? They remove all these things. Because East India Company is not there. They create, there'll be Council of Ministry under British, Council of Minister under British. One of those Council of Minister will be called Secretary of State. One of the Council of Minister will be called as Secretary of States. Okay. He will be having 15 members to assist him. He will be having 15 members to assist him. This BOC is gone. EIC COD is also gone. In this 15 members, Secretary of State will have 15 members. 7 members will be from these people. East India Company with the 24 members will be there, right? In that, 7 members will be from there. And remaining 8 members are appointed by British. Remaining 8 members are appointed by British. So how is my new structure now? My new structure will be like this. Crown, that is Queen. Below Queen, that will be British Parliament. Below British Parliament, there will be Cabinet. In this Cabinet, there will be Secretary of State. This Secretary of State will have 15 members. These 15 members, 7 will be from East India Company's COD and 8 will be selected by the Crown. So new setup in British came in. New setup in British came in. That's why we call it British, Crown rule. That's why we call it Crown rule. So this is happening one side. What would happen in India? In India, Governor General of India, his name will be changed into Viceroy of India. So Viceroy will have two councils. Council number one is Council number one will be Legislative Council. It will have 6 members. Other council will be Executive Council. It will have 4 members. So this is the new setup after 1958. Clear? Now, after 1958, things change. What would happen? In the Legislative Council, members come, members go. In the Executive Council, members come, members go. Or can I tell who are the people who are going, who are the people? Indians get added to Legislative Council, and slowly in Executive Council also Indians get added. And in Legislative Councils, people get reduced. Who get reduced? Britishers get reduced. Here also Britishers get reduced. So from 1961 till 1909, all the acts are called council acts. Why? Because in these two councils there is a changes, continuous changes in these two councils. That's why we call them Councils Act. Clear? Councils Act 1861, Councils Act 1991, 1891. Clear? So we call it Councils Act because number of legislative council members keep increasing and Indians keep entering, and slowly Britishers will go away. Slowly we'll get elections also. Clear till 1958? Clear till 1958? So over this, another half an hour will be left that I will be doing of tomorrow. That is legislative councils acts, all the councils acts, 1919 Act and 1935 Act and 1947 Act. All the councils acts, 1919, 1935, and the Government of India Act, Government of Independent India Act 1947. These things will be done tomorrow. Now we have 2 minutes. Any doubts you have, any doubts you have in any of the things, you can raise your hands and you can ask me questions. Raise your hands or you can put your doubts in the conversation. I will help you out. 5 minutes we can talk. Anywhere you missed out on the connectivity or anything. Everything is clear. So no doubts. No doubts. You understood how, like, evolution? Tomorrow you'll understand it better. Why you'll understand it better? Because major things will happen tomorrow. Clear? Yes, Sonal. Can you hear? You can ask me the doubts you have, please. Sonal had raised hand for asking doubts. You can ask me doubts. Oh, I think some problem happened. So, if it is like this, sir, scroll back for the content. Yes, definitely, please. Which page you want? These things I will send it. I will send all these materials for you people. Not to worry. You'll get all the materials. Which part of the material you wanted? So everything will be given to you. So you want it on the PDF, right? Bindushree ma'am, you want it on the PDF. So this is PDF will be shared with you. No need to worry. I'll send the PDF. So all the PDF whichever I prepare will be given so that you can utilize them. So what I'll do is from further classes, I will give you the PDF in early so that you can download them and you can write your notes on the PDF itself. If at all, every time I explain you anything, if I give you examples, you can write it down on the PDF itself so that it will be more useful for you. So from next time, so from next week, what I'll be giving is I will share the PDF earlier for you so that you can note down them. Clear? Recorded video, Dakshineshwar sir, definitely recorded video will be uploaded, not to worry about it. So any other queries? So let's wind up on this note. We'll meet again. Yes, Dakshineshwar, I can understand that. Definitely, we are even checking on that concerns and we'll make sure crashing of the things for people who are visiting in mobiles. So we'll check for them also. Clear? So let's wind up on this notes. Any comments or any doubts, if you're not able to ask here, you are very free and welcome to ask anything in the our group. Clear? You can ask me anything in our group. So I will definitely help you out. So let's wind up on this note. Have a great day. All the very best for you people. Study well. Stay safe. Clear? Bye bye. Take care. Let's meet again tomorrow.